silent secret festered beneath the surface. Every 30 years, the town experienced a series of mysterious disappearances that locals reluctantly whispered were linked to Carnival Mortis, a transient circus with a sinister reputation. The star of the circus was a clown known as Gobbler. With his garish makeup and an unnaturally wide, stitched grin, Gobbler was a figure of pure terror in the folklore of Dunwich. Townsfolk said he wasn't just a man in a costume, but a creature born from their darkest fears, feeding on them as well. Mia, a young and intrepid journalist, was drawn to the mysteries of Dunwich when she stumbled upon fragmented records of the recurring disappearances while researching New England's unsolved cases. Intrigued and sensing a story that could make her career, Mia traveled to Dunwich, arriving just as Carnival Mortis rolled into town after its latest 30-year absence. The circus set up on the outskirts, on an old field that the locals avoided after dark. The air around it was thick with the smell of decay, yet every night it seemed to draw crowds, people drawn by some morbid curiosity, or perhaps by something more sinister. On her first night in Dunwich, Mia visited the circus. She felt a chill crawl up her spine as she passed under the archway, topped with flickering lights that cast unsettling shadows. The air was filled with the sounds of an eerie calliope playing a tune that seemed to worm its way into one's very soul. Determined to uncover the truth, Mia maneuvered through the circus, past sideshow acts and games that seemed innocent on the surface, but sinister underneath. She finally arrived at the main tent where Gobbler was to perform. The tent was packed, the crowd a mixture of excitement and fear. As the lights dimmed, Gobbler appeared under the spotlight. His appearance was grotesque, his mouth stitched into an ever-present grin, his eyes too large and too bright. His act was a bizarre mix of comedy and horror, captivating the audience with tricks that flirted dangerously close to violence. After the show, Mia tried to get closer to Gobbler, hoping for an interview, but he was nowhere to be found. Instead, she stumbled upon an old, rusted trailer marked "Private." Compelled by her instincts, she cautiously stepped inside. The trailer was dimly lit and reeked of iron and rot. What she found inside turned her stomach. Remnants of clothing, small trinkets, likely once belonging to children, and in the corner, a pile of bones picked clean. At that moment, the truth was undeniable. Gobbler was not just a myth, and his sustenance was far more macabre than anyone could imagine. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. Spinning around, Mia faced Gobbler, his grin even wider in the dim light of the trailer. "Looking for stories, are you?" he hissed, his voice a sickly sweet poison. "You found one, but I'm afraid it's the last one you'll ever find." Frozen with fear, Mia struggled to think. As Gobbler advanced, she noticed a jar of what looked like grease paint thinner on a shelf behind him. With a desperate lunge, she threw it at Gobbler, the contents splashing over his face. Screaming, his makeup began to melt away, revealing nothing but hollow darkness beneath, a void where a human should have been. Taking advantage of his momentary agony, Mia fled the trailer, screaming for help. The locals, long suspicious of the circus, rallied to her aid. Together, they set the circus ablaze, watching as the flames consumed Carnival Mortis, hopefully once and for all. Mia left Dunwich with more than just a story. She carried with her a grave warning that some horrors are real, and they feed on the most primal of human fears. Dunwich would never forget, and as for Mia, every circus tent in the distance would forever hold a hint of dread, a reminder of the night she escaped